It's another edition of Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm Joe Reed. I have contributor Alan Minskoff with me. Hello, Alan. How are you today?
I am good, and I think you're going to enjoy today's audiobook. It's a bestseller, and it's a major work, autobiography by Dr. Anthony Fauci, and it's entitled On Call,
Oh,
A Doctor's Journey in Public Service.
wonderful. This has gotten a lot of good reviews, and he's the narrator as well.
He is, and I'm just going to start by saying he does have a Brooklyn accent. It's not as strong as it was, 50 or 60 years ago, but his reading is authentic. I'll give you my quote from my review. I said his reading is authentic, if not melodic. He's a serious man, and he's writing about what has become somewhat of a controversial life. But this is a man who's won more awards for his work than most people can dream of. He's won, National Science Award. He won the Medal of Freedom, and he's just lived a life of service. This is not a getting even story. This is his whole life. This starts in Brooklyn. It goes through his medical school at Cornell in New York. It goes through his going to Washington instead of doing private practice. And he has really, let's be candid, he has been a man who's dedicated his life to service. And it hasn't been easy. The COVID years were not so easy for him.
Oh, God, no. I mean, he was vilified. And I thought he has always responded amazingly graciously, so I'm not at all surprised that he would be as gracious in his book.
Anthony Fauci is remarkable in that he was able to work over 5 decades with, I think, 6 or 7
Wow.
presidents. And that could not have been easy. And he worked well with most. And he worked hard to get his National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases work done and funded. And none of that is without issue.
Yeah, I mean, because he was in the forefront of battling AIDS,
Ebola,
not easy, Ebola, and COVID. And I know we're missing like tons
we
of
are.
things in between, but those are three major
And of
diseases.
course, the irony in this man who's given his life to fighting disease is that the COVID piece, he was vilified by the anti vaxxers. In fact, he and his family's life were threatened. There's an astounding section where he gets an envelope with white powder in it. Fortunately, it is not dangerous, but can you imagine what he had to go through? That people came in hazmat suits and he had to take those kinds of showers and all the things. And, this is a man who worked well into his 80s. I think he's 84 now. This is really an autobiography. It's not a memoir of trying times. Those are there, but it's his whole life. You start with, and that's what we're going to start with in our sample, with the Faucis in Brooklyn.
Okay, here we go. On Call, A Doctor's Journey in Public Service. It's written in red by Anthony Fauci.
The front page of the late city edition of the New York Times on Tuesday, December 24, 1940, included headlines such as Eve of Christmas finds bustling city in festive spirit, juxtaposed next to Churchill bids Italy oust Mussolini, Greeks take another coastal town, Germans rain bombs on Manchester. That night, at 10:24, Anthony Stephen Fauci was born at Brooklyn Hospital to Stephen Anthony Fauci and Eugenia Abbas Fauci.
God, he was like born in the fulcrum. Um,
He was.
I find his voice amazingly comforting, and I always have. Yeah, I just like the quality of his voice. And I'm from New York. I'm very used to Brooklyn
Say we're both
accents.
from New York, and I want to just say this about it. He's a very comfortable. You would love him at your bedside. I mean, he just has a manner that he's talked to a lot of people. I really enjoyed that he simplifies the scientific concepts that he encountered in his life because medical concepts can be complicated, and he deals with a lot of them.
Okay, that is On Call, A Doctor's Journey in Public Service, written and read by Anthony Fauci. Alan, thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And I look forward to it.
Support for Behind the Mic comes from Hachette Audio, the publisher of Connie, this behind-the-scenes look into Connie Chung's life, read by Connie Chung herself. I'm Joe Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.